Titus. And that one we can certainly get another picture of from Modesto. Congratulations to Tammy Goslin. Centurion winner for 2011, Scott Abel from Oakdale.
I know.
He's not as honorable.
For years and years and years, the Centurion Award was the ultimate in the top for Century 21, up until about the late, I'm remembering about it, the late 80s, early 90s, where the production had so far exceeded it that we came up with a new award. And after a large contest for naming it, we came up with a double Centurion Award. And you have one winner in your midst today. We'd like to recognize and give our appreciation to John Brazil. Individual producer category. We don't have any winners in the team competition this year, so we want to move on to the next level, the office awards. Okay. In the office category, we have Centurion Award-winning office from just up the road in Oakdale. Production. We also have a double Centurion Award available to offices. So if we can ask Maria to come up and accept that office for the Modesto. That production also made you in the top 10 in the United States at number 9. Earlier that Rick Davidson, our national president, was here last week, and I don't know if any of you had a chance to actually meet him while he was here. He did a breakfast meeting in Turlock. We kind of bracketed you. He did a breakfast meeting in Turlock and a luncheon meet and greet for the associates up in Lodi. And then after that, he and I and your management team met for the afternoon and had some pretty productive conversations, did some business planning, some strategizing, and as a matter of fact, that previously announced Century 21 M&M only pricing for the global conference in Las Vegas came out of some arm twisting that happened with Rick at that meeting. So you know what negotiators usually are, and they did that. It was kind of funny. They also, you might not know it on the video, it went pretty quick, and you wouldn't be as familiar with our national staff as I am. But these three were telling Rick Davidson the nicknames they had for his senior leadership team. And they mentioned that Mark Foreman, who's our Senior Vice President of Operations, is a dead ringer for Eddie Murphy, the actor. And then they said, Greg Sexton, who's my boss's boss, they said, we call him Uncle Buck. And when I asked why, it's because of his physical resemblance to the late John Candy. So Rick had some time on an airplane going home, and he decided he could turn the tables as easily on that. So I understand he went around the office late last week with a video, showing video clips from the convention, and ran a little contest. So he asked me to present a special award that came out of that meeting last Friday. Another Crystal Award that we have to present, because he wanted me to give this to Larry Matos, who won the Century 21 Mario Lopez lookalike contest.
Take your shirt off.
Oh, boy!
I was just thinking about his dancing ability. We have a special honor that goes to Centurions. It kind of came in at the same time with Double Centurion. It was kind of along the lines of, what have you done for me lately? And we realized we had some sales associates who had earned Centurion status a number of years. And about 5 or 6 years ago, we started a new program for the Centurion Honor Society. And what that takes is someone who obtained Centurion 5 times, and it didn't have to be in a row. We know how difficult that is at times to repeat, but 5 times out of a 7-year period. And we don't have anyone to induct into that group from here today, but if any of you are current members of the Centurion Honor Society, would you please stand up and let us recognize you?
Yes.
If not, I'm sure it is. Now,
14 years. 14 years? 14 in a row.
Wow.
And to Scott's point, we actually have to think about what's next, because we only recognize you once at 5, and what do we do at 10, and what do we do at 15? So we
All
appreciate
stand up and then sit down.
giving us that challenge. So I'm sure a lot of you wear some track it, some don't. But in addition to the award levels that we gave, again, which are standard on a national basis, we also give some recognition as far as a ranking is concerned. Nationally, we talked about it, but we do that at a regional level. The region that you're in is the Sierra Nevada region. It runs from it's the whole Central Valley. Starts in Porterville, I think is our southernmost office, Porterville and Visalia. Runs all the way up the valley to the Oregon border, and it includes the foothills and even on into Nevada. The Reno, Tahoe, Carson City, Winnemucca are all part of the Sierra Nevada region. It's named that because you're either in the Sierra Nevada or you can see it from your office. And it encompasses about 2,300 sales associates at this point. And I just would be remiss. This is something we post on 21 Online. You can check it every month and see how that's going. But I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge a couple of people that made it in the top 10 in that territory for 2011. Your friend from Turlock, we've already talked about, Clarence Oliveira, was actually #1 in the region for adjusted gross commission. But not far behind at #3, let's recognize again John Brazil. And if you count it in units, as was mentioned earlier, #2 for John in the region for units. Tammy Goslin also made the list in both categories, #7 in adjusted commissions, and #7 in and I think I have one more. When you count the unit count with 86 closed sides for the year, Robin Brown from Modesto. And if we go to the office list then for that, your Modesto office, we've already talked about that, came in at #2 in gross commissions with 4.4 million, but took #1 honors in the region with 1,107 closed sides. #1 gets a #1.
Hey.
list based upon gross commissions at number 10 in the region for 2012. Again, what I'm about to present aren't necessarily surprises because we know about them in so many ways, but it is important to acknowledge that. And I have a lot of great respect for the 3 folks in front of the room, the whole 5 folks standing up in front of the room for that matter. But I just wanted to say that these folks, this is a bit of an experiment for them. Instead of asking you to come to an awards banquet in Roseville or down to Fresno or Monterey like we've done in the past, they decided to put on a roadshow here for 6 of these and go out and reach out to all of you. And I think for that, they deserve special thank you. And part of that was to be able to celebrate your number one-ness and let those of you that weren't in Las Vegas, excuse me, in New Orleans, to feel it and see it, to have it here. So that's what we've done. These seem anticlimactic, but I do want to make sure they're there for your shelf at some point. Obviously, if you're number 1 in the world, you probably did pretty well in the rankings for Northern California. So, for the company, Century 21 M&M, number 1 in both units and commissions for 2011 in the Sierra Nevada region.